Okay. Let's focus on this guy. The sun was already setting. Tay finally let go of me when we got to the roof. Tay. I caught my breath and called him. He was still worked up and breathing heavily too. First, sorry for startling you. Tay calmly apologized first. I was so shocked that he hit Yuri, I lost words for a moment. He looked a bit anxious as I didn't answer. I don't know where to start. Are you going to apologize to Yuri? Tay didn't answer. You better. I'm used to his silence. I'm now sick of him avoiding giving answers to my questions. I gave a disappointed look. And when Tay saw my face, he flinched. And then he hurriedly opened his mouth again. I'll think about it after I find out exactly what happened. Really, nothing happened. But I guess he's not ignoring me. After I emphasized that nothing really happened with Yuri, Tay looked a bit confused. But he soon nodded. I'll believe you. But I just couldn't stand watching you two be alone together. I know, you kept showing up in his route a lot too. Just seeing you by his side, I blushed at what Tay said. If I hadn't heard wrong, what he's saying now is... I feel the hope I've buried deep down my heart slowly coming up again. Why did Tay bring me out here? He's gonna throw you over the edge and murder you. What does he want to say to me? My face was completely red, but I didn't turn away from Tay and stared at him. He hesitated for a while and started talking again. Okay, first I have to apologize. What I did to you in the library last time. I'm sorry about that. Oh, then... let's start. I remember how Tay was that day. His glaring eyes flashed and his low voice threatened me. And what scared me the most was... You said that you want to hurt me. Yeah. You were shocked, right? That's just a part of it. I want to know why you said that to me. And why did you call yourself dirty? I don't understand. I asked him about all the things that troubled me until now. Tay listened to every single word I said. He hesitated for a while and lowered his gaze. Okay. First, could you listen to me for a while? I could sense that this wasn't going to be a lighthearted story, but I was ready to hear it. Of course. I've always wondered about this. The story Tay's been hiding from me. I silently waited for him to start. He started talking about his old days in a thoughtful voice. I was loved from the moment I was born. Since I'm rare, since I'm special, I attracted a lot of attention from the start. A lot of attention, thankfully. Right, Tay was a premium limited edition. So I was happy when I first met that girl. She cared for me a lot. That girl must be his previous owner. She must have been a meticulous person, considering how meticulously he was wrapped. But she did sell him to me. What happened? I felt like I had the world in my hands when she smiled at me. I was so happy. Even if I was trapped in a box the whole day, I didn't mind. That was my life. Only before dinner. She took me out of the box less than an hour each day. I could only come out and enjoy the fresh air when her mother was preparing for dinner. I was... happy. Tay looked so lonesome and bitter while saying that. Was he really happy? Was he really okay? She used to say this to me all the time. She said that I'm clean and perfect, and that I'd be betraying her if I'm not. She said that I must be a clean doll to win over her love. What she told me every day was like a spell. The obsession for staying clean tied me up. But one day, I realized that it wasn't just a spell. It was a curse. That day was the first time someone other than that girl took me out of the box. Tay's face fell. It was a small and soft hand I'd never felt before. A hand much smaller than hers pulled at my arm. I even heard a giggle. But I was afraid of the person who wasn't my owner. It wasn't the touch I was used to. I was scared and peered around, but the girl wasn't there. I got more scared after realizing that she wasn't near. The more his story progressed, the faster my heart beat at the suspense. I called her name to myself so many times, and then magically I heard the door open. Your previous owner came to save you? Tay's face darkened more at my question. Tay smiled bitterly. I told you, it wasn't a spell. It was a curse. Huh? I heard the door open, and after that, I heard her scream. It was the loudest noise I'd ever heard. Huh? She dropped down on the hallway, cried, and made odd noises. Her mom came to calm her down, but nothing worked. I could imagine what happened through Tay's face and voice. And hearing the owner scream and seeing the mom stop her, the small hand that held on to me trembled with surprise, and I fell to the ground. Tay looked down at his knee again. I looked at it too. That's how I got this scar here. I always wondered how he got the scar. That was what happened. I felt so bad imagining how shocked and flustered Tay must have been then. Tay continued calmly. It felt strange. I was a doll, so it didn't hurt. I was just so surprised. And I was so worried for the girl who was yelling so much she looked like she'd faint. Of course, I was afraid the most. I thought she might no longer like me. That she might throw me away. I thought she wouldn't like me now outside the box, me with a scar. Tay shook a bit. He rubbed his arms. Oh. I still can't forget what the owner said to me then. I could guess what she said, so I closed my eyes. She said, "So dirty." It was short, but full. And I felt as if I was the one who got hurt. Anyone would feel hurt to hear that. And I felt like now I could understand. The previous owner's brainwashing and curse. That's what made Tay sick. So that's why he said he's dirty. There was much more to his story than I ever thought there would be. That day, she didn't even sleep and just mumbled beside me. She kept on repeating that she'd make me clean again. But everywhere she went to fix me, she just heard that I was discontinued. After that day, everything changed. The reason I always waited for the box to be opened wasn't so I could get fresh air. It was to see her smile again. But she no longer smiled at me. She always frowned. On bad days she even cried, and sometimes she got mad. She yelled at me for being dirty and got sad. The dirty doll. That's what she called me. And she never hugged me, ever again. There was nothing I could do. I just hated the scar on my knee. The scar that made me dirty. The scar that made me be abandoned. And I hated myself for not being able to do anything. In the end, she sold me, and trapped in the box I waited for my new owner. A new owner. Tay raised his head and looked at me. Our eyes met. That was you. The moment the box opened, I saw your bright smile, the warm greeting you gave me. I had forgotten about those things for a long time. And when I saw you, I sensed that no matter how dirty I am, you'd be able to accept me. And I made up my mind to give my heart to you, to live just for you and nothing else. I thought that even if you someday forget me, I'd live on remembering the smiles you gave me. Tay. My heart ached at what he said. I felt as if I could see his heart, scarred with so much self-hate. You were my sun, my world, and my God in my tiny world. I was already dirty unlike you. I thought I could never stand beside you, That wasn't just because I was a doll and you were a person, but something happened that completely changed my decision. Tay's eyes shook. Then he raised his hand and stroked my hair. I woke up one day to find myself human. It didn't make sense, but it wasn't a dream. The other boy seemed excited to be human, but I wasn't. I was so overwhelmed I couldn't do anything for a while. If I'm human, I can touch you like this. Tay took his hand away from my hair. I was so raptured. Until then, my heart felt like bursting to just watch you. I knew that I was way out of line, but I couldn't control myself. I thought we were just going to be happy, but I was completely wrong. Cutie, ever since I became human, it's been awful to be with you. Why? I kept on having bad thoughts. I wanted to touch you and be by your side. Every time, the scar on my knee told me to keep that desire in the box. That's why I started working. I thought if I stay busy, I'd be able to forget it. But it didn't work. The more time passed, the more fearful thoughts took over me. What do you mean, fearful thoughts? Thoughts that creep up from the darkest and most dangerous place in my mind. Thoughts you'd never understand. Tay dropped his gaze. I thought if you, who always shined, was ruined like me, I would be able to reach you. You were so clean, unlike me, but I wanted you even though I didn't deserve you. Sorry. You didn't know, but I was always so caught up in that thought. Tay started to tremble again. His gentle smile that always reminded me of the sun was trapped beneath his darkness. His petrified face seemed to tell me how devastated he felt. The Tay I've seen until now was hiding all this. Whenever I saw you, I couldn't control these feelings I had. I knew that I should never hurt you, but I kept wanting to. Even though only bad things happened as you came closer, I just circled around you, never giving up these feelings. I remembered when Tay was indifferent to me one minute and kind the next. Now I know why. Yeah, but I did try to protect you. I started seeing your friend and ignored you when I saw you. Then the reason he started seeing Soy and started being distant towards me was because he was afraid I'd get hurt. I was so surprised I gulped. Tay noticed and gave me a painful smile. But even when I tried, I just ended up hurting you. Tay knew how hurt I felt. He knew how confused, worried, and anxious I was. You mean so much to me, and I just hurt you, so you'd be destroyed and be with me. So you could only be mine. I had those thoughts. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but still, it's not right, man. It's not right to do that to poor Cutie. Can you forgive me? I couldn't easily not. My head hurt to see him so vulnerable. I mean, my heart. It's better if you just abandon me. If it's you who's abandoning me, I'd be happy regardless, Cutie, Tay said while backing away. My heart ached so much since I knew how heavy those footsteps were. His voice calling my name sounds so desperate. But just know this. To me, you are so precious. There's no one in this world who loves you more than I do. I can dare to say that. But I'm such a dirty doll. What will you do with me now? I'll leave everything to you, Cutie. Tay looked determined. He was looking at me with empty eyes. I closed my eyes and thought for a while. Need a moment. I suddenly got to know Tay's past and how he feels about me. Yes, I got to know about Tay. But what about him? Tay still doesn't know how I feel. That's why I feel so hurt. Tay told me that I should at least know how much he loves me. It's the same. It's the same for me, as crazy as that is. I have no intention of making him leave. I felt sure of this. I gathered myself and opened my mouth. Me too. I have something I have to say to you. I didn't actually look at those options before. I was like, I gotta save. What are my options exactly? You can destroy me? What? What? Okay, well, that's definitely gonna lead to a bad ending. No. You are not dirty, but you do need some help. We gotta get you over this brainwashing. You're not dirty. My voice was small but firm. Tay's eyes widened. I walked toward him as much as he backed away. Tay just stood there. I took a step forward and went closer to him. I never thought that your scars are dirty. Tay flinched. I never knew that behind his peaceful smile was such vulnerability. And where should I start? Before I could even gather my thoughts, I started pouring out words. I don't know why I have to be dirty to be with you, since I never thought you were dirty in the first place. Anyways, you said you like me, right? I felt my face turn red, but pretended to be bold. Tay just stared at me and soon nodded. I like you too. I like you just the way you are. So, I want you to stay that way. Like right now, by my side. Even the wind didn't blow on this quiet rooftop. The students enjoying the festival downstairs seemed to exist in another world. You mean it? Mm-hmm. Tay still looked unsure. I'm not scary or repulsive. Well, you are a little scary, but that's what you've been thinking of yourself all this time? Tay dropped his gaze at my question. I will never be able to fully understand his trauma, since I didn't experience it myself. But at thinking how much he suffered because of it, my heart throbbed with pain. If I care this much about him, won't he be able to overcome his hurt? Tay whispered with his gaze still dropped. What if I still end up hurting you? Then I'll get over it. He flinched again. Yeah, I can just get over it. Broken neck, no problem. There might be scars, but I'll forget about them. It's the two of us, so we can help each other. I can just get over the scars if I get them. Tay slowly raised his head. I saw in his eyes a new sense of fear and hope. Between those two fiercely opposing feelings, I want to root for hope. Trust me, and I'll trust you too. I'm your owner, and you're my doll, and since I really like you. I felt like the huge wall that's been weighing me down suddenly crumpled down. The wounds in my heart healed, and a new tinkly warmth grew in its place. Tay looked like he couldn't believe what I just said. I gathered up my courage once more for Tay. I need you. I'm so happy to start my day with the breakfast you cook me and end it with the tea you make me. Every time I look at your smile, I get butterflies in my stomach. Cutie. I like everything about you. At one point I began thinking of you sparkling. You were hurt in the past, so forget the past and let's be happy together. I need you. I love you so, so much. I couldn't handle my face getting red anymore and dropped my head. And then I heard Tay's voice from above. He came so close to me that our feet almost touched. Does that mean you're letting me? Huh? Oh. He looked excited like a little child. Letting you what? Before I knew it, his face was filled with excitement and hope for the new happiness instead of the fear of his past. I was overwhelmed with joy to see that. I nodded happily. Oh. Yes, you can do that. It's been a while. It's been long enough, I think. I felt him lean closer to me. Eh? You're so adorable, I can't stand it. Tay? Ah, there it is. My heart pounded. That's some aggressive kissing going on, my goodness. His face was right in front of my nose. Probably because he's kissing you. I'll treat you carefully. I'll protect you with all the strength I have, so you don't get hurt anymore. Cutie. My precious owner, the person who means the world to me. His sweet voice hovered around my ears, and he whispered into my burning ears. I would have done this months ago if you'd let me. Before I could even answer, his lips suddenly touched mine. My heart was beating so fast I thought it'd explode. Tay should be able to feel it too. I shut my eyes tight in embarrassment. Embarrassment? You should have been waiting for this. He removed his soft lips and whispered, I want to be with you like this forever. If you let me. If you need me. I want to be by your side forever, Cutie. It all felt like a dream. I struggled to keep back the tears and accepted him. Looking at the sky again. I saw the sunset surrounding him. Please let him be more peaceful now. Please let me be happy with Tay. I prayed to the sun. Not gonna happen, girl. But for now, you've had your kiss, and things are looking up finally for you two, which I'm glad about.